Scott wanting to say something.
I'm Scott Davis, and I'm here to say...
That's my sexy husband. Stay away.
Hey, right!
Gosh! Sometimes I'm not happy that I've made friends with Scott. Other times I am happy that I've made friends with Scott. If someone doesn't clip that, I'll be very sad. So, that whole fight happens. And this fight, even though it's like 6 seconds turns, we could count it. That fight probably was 5-7 minutes because it was like a clumsy, slow, lightning striking. Although actually, Haven moves I imagine Haven moves very fast and then plants, like a Dark Souls character actually. In my mind.
It's fine. We're trialing a new party dynamic where I'm tanking now and Haven's.
You did draw aggro. Let's be honest. So that happens.
Actually a taunt. There's no shot in there or anything. It's just a loud noise.
They run away into the distance to a situation where you can no longer see them with the darkness and the light. The light is only what you guys have and what their camp is, and then hey, their camp is now free, and all the stuff in it is yours if you wish to have it.
But I ruined the campfire.
The campfire is still, like, good enough. Yeah, you could rebuild it and be like, okay, it's still gonna work for the night.
So as they're kind of like running off, because you said they ran off, right?
They ran, yeah.
He threw the gold and ran off. So as they're kind of running off, I'm gonna look to I'm gonna look over in Vale's direction and be like, huh, that's funny. I used to hear stories that the elves on the surface were nicer, but no, you all shoot people when they run away and kick them when they're surrendering. It's pretty much elves in general. Why'd those guys think that you would be an easy fight?
I'm sorry, who thought I would be an easy fight?
Before we fought, he said, oh, it's just an elf. It'd be an easy fight.
Oh, you mean the one with the staff?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they were wrong. I mean, all elves are vicious warriors. They're to be respected for what they're capable of doing.
Well, I feel like the
middle child.
I feel like the
Somebody's watching me.
I give up on that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have destroyed your train of thought more.
You just distracted by my sexy boyfriend.
Neil, rather than the other way round.
That's true. Neil does that to me all the time. A lot of the time
It's
off
true.
stream as
It's
well. Like,
I'm brutal.
don't stroke Digital Dean.
I feel like perhaps you are putting it down to being an elf a little bit too much. I was I spent some time as a pirate, as I said, and sometimes backstabbing is necessary.
Do you actually make a motion when you do?
Yeah.
I'm saying it's you hear things and you kind of hear multiple sides of one story, but until you actually see the story or hear a bard tell the story, you only know one side. Well, no, that's when you find out the side. You know what I'm saying. I heard things and now I know it's right.
Right. Well, perhaps don't base the presumption of an entire race on just me. And not only that.
Don't worry. I'm not. I know. I've known lots of elves.
Yes.
I mean, I've got the marks to prove it. He kind of lifts up his shirt a little, and you see like scarring on his back.
There's a guy. Right. No. I do not think we whip people as a punishment. That is not very.
But your chain weapon looks a lot like the ones I've seen before.
Yes, but I like to use it to slice on the front. My guts are everywhere. I did it with this undead demon monster in some Lichvale catacombs. Actually, it was pretty fantastic.
Well, I imagine Gil's watching this interaction, right?
Gil's probably like pulling the bodies away from the camp Which is when he's the one doing it, it's like someone is not doing their job.
He's had to stop.
But he's also
and
the
sit down
sensitive
and wipe
one,
his
so...
brow, like 3 times.
Yeah, Melody completely ignores that bag of gold, just heals Gil, and then she's going to go across and have a look at that staff that was dropped on the ground.
Thank
Sure.
you, Melody.
Alright, I shall describe the stuff. It is a...
Salny moment because of magic item.
Yeah, well, it's a metal staff. It seems to be sort of an unrefined iron or something. It's got a straight sides of the actual beam, bit of a spike in the bottom, and it's very muddy. It's clear like they just jam it into the mud, and you saw her do it quite a few times. At the top is a sort of hollow orb with holes in it where you can see, and even now it's been like knocked in the ground. There's this constantly smoldering ember in it. This would require.
Can it be used as a pike?
It would be used as a quarterstaff. So
Can it be used as a pike?
Melody could technically use it because Melody, as a druid, has nothing against metal. She can technically use it.
I couldn't use it.
This is a magical item that requires attunement to figure out more about it.
Okay.
Because you no longer have to do cast identify on everything.
In that case, yeah, I'll just pick it up, channel a little bit of magic into it, see what I can work out. I don't know. I have
attunement. I think is a short rest or is it a long rest, Scott?
Short rest.
I don't actually know because I have never attuned an item in.
I don't do many attunement items, or if I do, I just assume that you attuned them when you picked them up. You know, I'm not that verbal about it, but yeah, okay. You will start like getting to know it as you sit down and learn a little more.
Inner.
And I'm also just because Gil is having to do that, dragging the bodies around. I'm just going to have Raj and the other spirits just tidy up the camp a bit, such like with wild cunning.
Yes, so it's one of those things where you two are having this conversation. Gil, gets healed and probably bandages himself up a bit more.
Melody sits down with a staff, and then
sits down, and then the camp just because Haven hasn't seen this before. The camp just starts being made again. Like things are pushed into slightly different positions. The actual fire is all pulled together. Actually, some food that they had is put back on. Like it just starts lifting and all happening around you guys.
Honestly, because our conversation kind of came to an end where Vale was more or less just trying to like say things to make himself feel better about himself. I imagine like Haven would kind of like lose a little bit of interest and see all the stuff going on around and be like, "Wow, this is amazing," and just kind of like go around and like one of those. This is to you, Arvine. Like go around and imagine like bedrolls like tidying, like going like try to mess with the bedroll and see like what's making it happen.
You do that. You like try to like mess as like a bedroll's being unfurled, and you're like pulling it, and it pulls very sharply like back, like away from your hands.
Whoa, this is incredible. Oh, I probably don't know that four-banger. This is awesome.
I feel like perhaps we are forgetting something. Vale points at the crossbow bolt that's like lodged firmly in his gun.
I gotcha.
Melody didn't see that. When he says that and Melody looks up, she does actually trot over and...
So after that, she puts her hand and... Oh, you're going to medicine.
Yeah. She didn't even realise until he pointed it out. Bear in mind, you were basically on opposite sides of the fight.
So that's like pulled
I imagine
out.
I tuck like a thumb in and unhook it or something. You know,
you like no. I like that. You just go like, like there's like a splurt of blood, and then Melody like kind of caps it, and it just heals over. And like you almost feel the pain of it being pulled out more than like radiating more than the pain of the wound at this point. Like. Oh.
Melody just smiles up at Vale and then goes back to what she was doing with the staff.
Thank you. He like quietly turns and starts pulling the one out of his mostly armor that's like scratched, little nick into the muscle.
Would I have had any of the conversation between Vale and him?
You clearly, whole thing.
Right. So, Evan, how did you get those scars? I don't know how I got these scars, etc.
How did you get those scars?
Oh, I was beaten.
By elves?
Oh yeah. I mean, of course.
And so your opinion has always been that elves are barbaric?
Oh, I honestly, I don't think. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they build beautiful homes and, have beautiful language. Barbaric is usually, oh, this is awkward. And he kind of like gestures almost like towards Melody. Like, again, like one of those half gestures, not gestures, but very obvious.
She's completely ignoring you, just looking at the
If it
staff.
wasn't Melody, they would know.
Yeah.
She's barbaric maybe in appearance, but she's one of the most kind-hearted people you'll ever meet.
Oh, I wouldn't say kind-hearted. Definitely not barbaric either. I mean, what do you expect? They're elves, right?
There?
Yeah.
You think... Wait. You think Melody's an elf?
No. Oh, man. I think I'm confused now. No, we were talking about elves, and you asked if they're barbaric. I said no. But, she kind of comes off as she might be, she can't even speak right. She's sweet. Like, she's a nice person. Now, elves, they're not barbaric, but they're also not nice people, I mean, And I kind of like gesture at the coins that were thrown to the ground at one point in time as the people ran off because of like all what had transpired. Like,
I don't think you've met every elf in Jarviskjir, so I don't think it's fair for you to say things like that.
I have met a few thousand.
Fair. That's more than I have.
You've been to the Elven Kingdoms. Why would they do this to you?
Lived in an Elven Kingdom.
Yeah, yes, but the only place you would find a few thousand elves is in the Elven Kingdoms.
Well, they didn't like necessarily all live together. They were spaced out. I mean, the caverns are huge, and it's a distance between each one of them. So, it's not like everybody was living on top of each other.
I'm sorry. Elves don't live in caverns.
Depends on the elves, right?
Some forest elves live in caves, yes. But and there are some sand elves. They live down that way. But no, none that live in... Certainly not thousands that live in caverns.
Maybe we should go check it out sometime. Maybe you can learn a little bit about your own people, and I can maybe kill a few,
No.
old time's sake.
No, I don't think
just never hit the women. That's always a bad thing. It comes back tenfold if you do that.
I don't... There are no elves in Jarviskjir that not elves, not proper elves that live in caverns.
I don't know what's proper or not proper. I just found out there's multiple types of fork. So, maybe it's an improper elf. I don't know. But, you seem like awfully offended by the fact that my experience has said, that's another big word.
It's not impossible that you have big words.
I know. But my experience is that, I mean, again, I lift up my shirt a little bit and you see like lashes across the across my back and everything.
So Haven, is it fair to say you survived amongst these elves, not lived with them?
Oh, I survived amongst the dwarves and humans and others that were enslaved. Yeah.
Jesus.
But, a couple of elves were slaved, but they were, pale like you. So
Can I make a history?
but usually they were killed.
You can. So something that's interesting is that to Vale and his religion, dark elves are a sort of boogeymen. So you are hearing stories of dark elves, but you would not think of them as... You aren't even connecting that they're a real thing. That's a fairy tale. They're fairy tale villains to you.
We met them. Oh, Vale didn't. Did he? Because we met them on that cliffside. The followers of Lustry. I can't.
Vale wasn't
It
there.
wasn't.
Oh shit! Because I know
I
Gil
didn't
was
go up the
there.
mountain. I ended up having to come fight a Yeti because you...
Oh, that's right. And we explained it to you afterwards, and you were in disbelief. That's right. So sorry. That was a long while ago.
Vale's religion has a place for all elven kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
These do not exist.
Yeah.
Well,
That's fine.
on Elvenkind.
Yeah, so that's why. So sort of a as a DM to the viewers, that's why he's in disbelief. Yeah, I imagine this conversation keeps going, but it doesn't really go anywhere for the night as you camp up. Is there anything else you want to do as you camp and spend the night?
At one point in time, I talked to what's her name, Melody. Unless you guys are going to have your conversations you think are pertinent.
Nope.
So Melody seems to be the most comfortable out here, traveling in the open, the woods, and stuff like that. That's very obvious, right? You guys were more comfortable back in town. She's more comfortable here.
I wouldn't
It's like
say
one of
that
those-
these guys are uncomfortable with
I
traveling.
didn't say uncomfortable. More comfortable.
Yeah,
out
more
here, and then
comfortable
more
for
comfortable
sure.
in town. Yeah,
It's
because I've seen them
more.
both.
It's more that she thrives out here. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would
Melody
notice
always
that.
seems a little bit out of her element in a city, basically.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Because I saw the both.
You would notice the change. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So at one point in time, I imagine Melody is like stars and stuff like that. I actually kind of go over if she happened to be looking up, even if it was just a quick glance, and she'd be like, "Hey," this is hours later probably. Like, so does that freak you out?
What? The sky?
Yeah, like them lights up there. You think one of them gonna fall on you?
Melody has been alive many summers, and no lights have fallen yet. Don't think they'll fall now.
But there's nothing to protect you in case they did. Or what if there's something up there? I mean, they were the bandits on the road, and they wanted our gold, right? What if they came from up there? What if they were like flying bandits?
There are flying creatures, birds.
How do you protect yourself from them?
They tend to be weak, easy to fight off. Melody has never seen a very strong flying thing. Maybe because there's nothing up there for them to fight, they don't get strong.
It's just weird. It's like we wear armor, right? To protect our bodies, and it protects us around. And we put shields in front of us to protect us at our front. And we have the ground beneath us to stabilize us and protect us from below. But there's nothing to protect us from the sky. I mean, my whole life, I've never had to worry about what's up. Or most of the time, I didn't have to worry about what's up. But now I just see myself staring up all the time and always wondering when it's coming, you know? Just up is always a danger. Always a danger.
Maybe there is something up there. Just you can see through it.
I like the Melody. Like Melody's hanging around with Gil so long, she makes a point and then is like. That is canon. That is definitely canon, and I love it.
He's just going to continue staring for a while.
Melody watches with him for a couple of minutes, and then just goes back to examining the staff. Whatever.
So
she was doing.
what you would even be doing, like beside him, is as you gain more comfortable with the staff and the fire within it, you learn to be able to pull the fire from the staff. I assume you're going to take a full rest, so I wouldn't even worry about hit die. Like, you're taking a full rest, it's just this is sort of a short rest part before the long rest. In fact, why don't you tell me who's on watch, if you're having a watch order, or if you're just relying on Vale to keep you up.
I'll take...
I was going to say, I'll totally watch, even first watch, since she just blew my mind hole.
Yeah, you've got something to think about.
I want to quickly talk to Vale, so I'm happy to take first watch.
I am
Vale.
so passive. I'm so
Okay.
passive.
Cool. So first
Yeah.
watch, second watch, third watch, or
Yeah.
just 2 watches. It doesn't super matter. So you're gonna have to write this down, Ian, because this staff do several things.
Okay.
The main thing is that the wielder of the staff, when you have this equipped, this is always assumed when you have it equipped.
Yeah.
You can use this staff to cast a cantrip, Produce Flame. Now, that's actually not in the main books. I think it's in Elemental Evil, or maybe
Yeah.
never left you a...
Well, I had it. I had it for. I think Arlene had
Produce Flame is a cantrip you can cast from this staff, exactly how you saw it. Like you pour the fire from it. Also, the staff you can just at will cast a 10-foot light. It's one of those things where there's always fire in it, but you can reduce it to a couple of tiny specks instead of a roaring flame. You can also go ahead and use the control flame. Has a 1 ability where you can make shapes in the fire. You can do that with the fire when it's in your hand or on the staff. You can make shapes and visages of fire of things you've seen, things you know, like a very crappy version of illusion, but very dramatically fiery. And the last ability of this staff is that when you cast a fire-related spell, and I'm a little more lenient on that, you deal damage to targets around you in a 5-foot radius of your choice, equal to your spellcasting level. So you are a level 5 druid. Half of your spellcasting level. So you would do 2 fire damage to people. When you cast a fire-based spell of first level or higher. So Produced Flame doesn't.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would be OP as balls.
So, I'll at some point plonk myself down next to Vale and just be like,
Sound me. Fuck.
we have quite a bit of travel left to go. And I'm going to be honest, Vale. I'm getting a little bit, I don't know, getting a little tired of killing.
Right. Well,
And this isn't a criticism. Not at
did-
all.
I did try to, I said I'll pay you 10 gold.
That's absolutely fine. I think we just need to check ourselves before we wreck them people.
Gil, she shot me.
I know.
Look, I'm going to have to stitch this up. I can't stitch like Salny with those little gnomish fingers. It's not going to look as good. What are they going to say when I go to the dueling ring? And they say, look at that scrap man's armor. I can't go into the dueling ring with armor like this. I'll be a laughing stock, win or lose.
But on the flip side, with those gnarly looking scars, there'll be quite a story to tell.
Yes, I suppose.
What I'm saying is take your top off in front of everyone you fight.
I'm not sure about that tactic.
Look.
I haven't had the greatest luck with men or ladies.
We should get back to that training at some point.
Yeah, it might be a little bit awkward now. Haven's here.
Maybe Haven could help.
He does. He's got a nice bit of, that's almost Elvin, that hairstyle. Anyway,
Look, like I say, it's not a criticism. It's
no,
just
I understand. I was just a bit angry in the moment, and my blood was all leaking out of my wounds, and and it wasn't in my brain.
I know how you operate, and you've saved my life more than a couple of times.
Gil. We're friends. We've traveled together for a long time now. Expect the right to request me to not do something. You have done so very politely, and you don't need to worry. I will do my best to spare people when I can.
Okay, thank you. It's just Haven. I don't want him getting a bad impression of you because you're not who he seems to think you are.
I'm not sure I'm the best person either.
But you're not the worst. I think it's unfair to assume people are the best people.
true. I have done good things and bad things, but I suppose it balances out to about neutral. Probably, if we saved all of Lichvale, that's
Well,
about.
I saved Lichvale.
Yeah, yes, of course. Like Pat.
Right.
Good talk.
Yeah.
So we're on first watch, and he pulls out so. Let's see, how full is it? It's, oh, it's pretty full. It's a near full bottle of dwarven wine,
Yes.
and he'll pour a little.
We're on
out.
first watch. Let's get shit-faced.
Oh no! I don't know how they snuck up on us. Oh, it's such a shame they murdered
Oh,
Hayden while we were on watch. They just slit his throat. There's nothing we could do.
Awesome. So you spend like your watch chatting and palling up and being friends because you're the best of friends. And the second watch of Haven and Melody is but you actually probably do have a couple more small conversations, actually, I'm imagining, because Haven's talkative and Melody is willing to have these short conversations as long as they end. And then you can get back on the road afterwards and keep heading northwards towards Northenden. Traveling is not super easy. Like I said, this is a long, old road, and it's quite well maintained in some places, but also it's the middle of winter. You've been quite lucky leaving, and Goldport has a lot of rain. You've always been in the rain. Right now you're getting quite a bit of snow. Interesting you say that, Funny One. Vale does trance, but he trances more similarly to a human sleeping than most elves do. He actually lays down and completely zonks out for a bit just because of how he is. He's a teenage elf. He is the elvish equivalent of sleeping in really late. So traveling is not the fastest, but also you have urgency. You are all on horses, but you're not going, showing the meaning of haste as you travel. You are going at your own pace, faster on some days, slower on others. And something to note is it's actually very near the end of the year. You're in the Ivory month, which is the Jarviskjir equivalent of December. As you're going through, the lands of Goldport are populated with these towns and villages and farming communities, and so many of them you go through. The main road splits their town into a little sort of crossroad community, and you see people celebrating or putting up decorations, actually setting up pine trees to prepare for the New Year celebrations, which in the Goldport area, it literally is decorated pine trees, and in some of the poorer towns, it's just a tree. And then in slightly nicer areas, you see there's actually glass ornaments and things. And actually on the night of the New Year, you manage to stop off in a little place that is basically a couple of houses, a nice big tavern, and a church. And of course, a little bit of these kind of trading taverns have enough of a stable thing that your horses can stay and get fed. And you decide to spend the night of the New Year in this tavern because every culture above ground celebrates the New Year in some way. Haven actually wouldn't know that people celebrate the New Year because they don't really care about time the same way underground. But every culture of that, they celebrate
It's
this.
the new slave hall.
Woo! If Haven was a smarter individual, I would tell you how they tell time in the Underdark, but
I actually can perfectly tell. I think time and direction are all times underground.
That doesn't mean you understand the calendar system.
It's true, but I just know if it's dawn or dusk
you
and
can
all
tell
that
the difference
stuff.
between that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which does get kind of fucky when you're underground for so long. But you go into this tavern, and this tavern is bustling, but not in a. It's a trading tavern, so there's quite a lot of like you can clearly tell other merchants who are of well off, and then everyone else in this little community's come together here to celebrate the new year. You know, they have a tree, they have bards playing, they have a big roast going, and as you come in from the snow, the bartender's like, come in, warm food. No, have a glass of spiced wine. No, it's on the house. It's time to celebrate. You know, we made it through a year. And like,
very kind.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about Goldport. We're known for our hospitality, and then like leads you down to a table, and we'll get you guys some food. You do pay for the food, but you know the wine is free. As you sit down in this place that is not as busy. It's not as busy as the tavern you were in Goldport, but it's busy for a little merchant tavern, but it's got a very different atmosphere. You know, a lot of taverns have a sort of seediness. This doesn't at all. It's actually a very sort of wholesome feeling you get. Like, it's actually kind of like nice seeing all these people get together and celebrate. This isn't the kind of holiday where there would be present giving and stuff. That kind of suggests a sort of a very materialistic culture that just isn't capable for these kind of people. It's more the community and coming together and eating and stuff like that.
Eating lots.
Like, this is like you would be like, oh, what are you eating? Well, turkey with all the trimmings. Like, legit. Like, big plates of food, reserves that they probably shouldn't be using, but they are, because it's celebration time.
Could I take a look, or ask whoever has it, the bag of gold that bandit dropped? Can I take a look inside?
Yeah, so that bag of gold, you would have picked it up a while ago, but maybe you didn't think about it until you came into a tavern. It makes sense. It actually had 60 gold in it. 60 gold.
Mm-hmm. Could I buy everybody in this tavern around with that gold?
Yes, you can. Like, okay. Even like that, you'd have stuff to spare. Like, that's not even the full. But if you hand them that, they would take it.
I have other plans for that.
Okay, cool.
So it would be like what I need to spend.
It would be like probably 4 gold, because you know a drink isn't actually that much, but you probably get something like a little stronger. So I say around 4 gold to get everyone around. You do that, you get a very like, hey! And like people come and like hug you and like, oh, Merry New Year and stuff like that. As you get your drink. And actually, as those sort of drinks arrive and you end up getting, again, another glass of spiced wine, you notice that there's a priest who's going around here. And the priest is very familiar to Gil'win, not that he knows the person, but the garb is this sort of yellowish priest robes that are the closest you can get to gold without actually having magic or gold on it. It's sort of that sort of burnt yellow color with occasional white trimmings. And actually, you can tell they're not the finest quality. These are quite old robes. But it's a sort of middle-aged gentleman who's going around with a silver chalice and has water in it. And if you look at it, like the water is glowing a little bit, and is like going to people and taking water and putting it in their foreheads and going, "Blessings of Pelor upon you for the new year, for the new year." And he goes to your table, and he would go to bless Gil'win.
He goes to the table with the clearly wild-looking woman with a 2-headed dog and the sun elf.
They haven't acknowledged the dog yet.
I'll let him. Let him.
Sure. He'd go to you. He'd go to Melody. To Melody, it's just a dab of water on your forehead. You don't understand you don't understand the backing. Actually, you may have even had a little bit of this faith sort of thing when you were very young. So, guy goes to do it to Haven. It's not like he hesitates. It's just, are you going to stop him or say anything as he does?
Haven's pretty passive in general, so.
And of course, the blessings of the Lord of Light and the Son of Pelor upon you, and goes to the Sun Elf.
He would. I would actually ask, who's that? If he said those words to me.
He would be still saying it as he's doing it to all of you. Be like, oh, you must be foreign, far afield. The Lord of Light, Pelor, the God of all, is the one true God and the first Emperor of Jarviskjir. The Lord of Light and his guidance has caused humanity to boom, and not just humanity, but all races of the world, be they good of heart, can see through the light of Pelor a grander world, a world with this bounty that would not be available without his guidance and blessings.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah,
Must be important. Must be really important.
it's almost like a spiel, like he said that before, but he's a priest, so he's into it. Yeah, he then turns to go to you, Mr. Vale.
No, thank you.
But it is a blessing. Even elves can see a blessing in the light of the sun.
Look at the tone of my skin. I am already blessed by the sun.
That is curious. I don't believe I've seen something like that. Blessings upon you. Even if you have blessings, you cannot. I don't think there's too much of a good thing. And then he would sort of leave the table and go back to, he's blessing everyone in the place. He's clearly the local priest.
So there's only one god?
No.
No.
There are many gods.
Thought so. Okay.
He's just the main flavour around here, let's say.
And then, unless there's anything else you want to do for your little New Year's celebrations, we can.
I'd like to ask Haven again. Haven, I think you've told me this already, and I'm really sorry I've forgotten. Because I know my dad gave you that name. Do you have a name? That was given to you at birth?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I don't remember it. Kaysen is what I went by most of my life.
Kaysen, that's it.
Yeah, sorry, Kaysen. No, so I getting the
You gotta
Kaysen,
go
you know, I'm getting your accent is starting.
You
to,
really
like,
got to
stick to
bring
me.
it up from the stones.
Kaysen, you know.
Kaysen.
Yeah, it you probably don't know the language, but it translates to maggot, so
Oh.
So your dad was like, hey, that's like not nice, and so he gave me a good name. He's a good guy. Oh,
Sure.
I mean, well, you know what I mean.
Relative to you, he's a nice guy. That's fine.
Yeah, that one.
I was just going to ask if you wanted a fourth. It doesn't matter. Haven. You like the name. I'll stick with Haven.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name. I mean, it translates to the greatest city in all of Jarviskjir,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that what Haven Golden
You
Port,
say
right?
that, and like someone nearby is like, "Yeah, Goldport's the best. I took my buddy Jerry down there. He popped his cherry." And Jerry's like, "No, I didn't.
Jerry
No."
Jerry popped his cherry.
To Jerry's cherry.
Popped his cherry. To Jerry's cherry. Like Haven, get behind that. It rhymes.
Yeah, I just
Simple.
Yeah. He likes the easier songs.
Yeah.
What
Jerry
does that-
popped his cherry.
does that mean? I'm not familiar with that slang.
Oh, it's when you first do a cum inside of somebody.
It's actually the other way around.
When Erin's not here, you're just gross. You're not much
Haven
better
will-
when she
over
is.
Here, Haven will actually say it's the other way around too.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right. We don't really.
Do you have a 10? You don't?
Not really. No. I mean, it can be hundreds of years before someone pops the cherry. It kind of loses meaning by that point.
Right.
I mean, not so much if you're a wood elf. You might have found a goat or something. You know what these guys are like.
Is sex a big part of Sun Elf's culture? I hadn't really asked before.
Well, sort of. Yes. And no. I mean, we're not we don't have a culture centered around it, but
Like humans do.
But we need to keep our numbers up, or watch them slowly decline. The problem is at the moment, Vale's a little bit uncomfortable. The problem
Especially
is,
you're having this conversation while, like, over there, and Haven's probably with them. Like, Jerry, after Jerry, after Jerry. Like, the bards are playing with. You're having this very, like, delicate conversation while, like, the boisterousness is going on there. And Haven's definitely with them at this point, like, a mug in a hand.
even when sun elves copulate, it's very rare that we produce children. Very, very rare. But I've told you that, and some of the older sun elves have given up a little bit on that front. But it's still there. But there's not many sun elves that are young, particularly. So I've never really spoken to many other young sun elves, to be honest. I mean, not ladies anyway. I mean, we're trained in a temple. It's not exactly. But the high elves is a bit more going on. I've seen some things in the seedier districts, but there really aren't many seedy districts in Thundral.
Fair enough. It's just nice to learn new things about you, Vil. Feels like it's been a while.
Yes. Well, I mean, it could have changed. I've been a while away for quite a few years in human terms.
Yeah, things change quite quickly in human civilization, but
things really don't in Sun Elven.
No.
I mean, I say it could change, but like 1% chance. It's not a. And I mean, with so many of us are priests or paladins, and it takes the back foot, really.
yes, that's fair. Anyway, enough about cherries. Would you like another drink?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Haven is very comfortable in this situation,
Yeah.
and he said that it works the other way as well. And he's now drinking with a load of other men. Do you think maybe he...
I think it's too early to say.
Right, yes. Don't want to offend him. But,
I don't think he'll be offended.
well...
Maybe I should play a little prank on him. Sort of.
I don't think Melody would like to see that.
Melody looks up at her name, having been like trying to avoid the tumult of the.
Just been just like melody in tune, just like
Yeah,
she's doing our thing.
She's trying to ignore the fact that there's a lot of people around and it's clearly uncomfortable.
Melody,
Yes.
would you like to see me play a prank on Haven?
Pranks. Raj often plays pranks. They can be funny.
You see Melody's drink just go doof, doof. And like it sort of throps and like bounces up and out of it.
Maybe we should let him have a few more drinks first.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
That always lets me build up my confidence.
Okay, with that, we're gonna take a break. So whatever Dean Cuddy is planning, he can plan for a little bit. Yeah, All right, sure. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Not 7 this time.
No, fuck no. Oh, hated that. Way too. Ugh. Anyway, we'll be back in a bit.
I can feel it.
In the air tonight. Oh Lord.